Hey, it's Mark with Mark's Virtual Real Estate Channel, and I'm finally making the video where I'm asking Upland, giving my ideas on how to make the real estate side of Upland better. So, as you know, I have been critical of Upland before with the direction they're going, and I also want to offer solutions, not just be critical of them as well. So I'm going to talk about some key things I think could be done, and not complicated things, to make the real estate side so much better. And that's what Upland was originally about, was real estate, and it's kind of drifted off towards all this other stuff, and I feel like there's so many different things going on. And for me, who's a real estate investor, a busy person in real life, there's no way I can keep up with it. There's no way I can do all these different things or keep track of them or even learn about them. And I kind of feel like Upland doesn't really know exactly what they all do either, or will do, because so many of them don't get finished. But love the likes, love the comments, love the shares. We have our community nodes in Upland and Henry Ford. We have a contest going now if you want to join that. I've got Discord link below, all kinds of cool stuff you can do. And Neponsit is doing fantastic. But anyway, on to the Upland side of things. So the first thing I want to share is this. Let me see what page I'm on. 22 is the original Upland white llama paper. So kind of the white paper for what they envisioned in 2019. And I just searched for Google on this, and it popped up as a PDF. But it's very interesting reading through it, what they originally thought. But I don't want to go through the whole thing. That would take forever. I want to just kind of talk about, let's see here, the summary and outlook. Upland's core value proposition is to provide true ownership of any digital asset to its players. In its first phase, it will, in a gamified way, distribute real estate properties that are based on real-world addresses. Ownership in the real world deviates from the one in Upland. However, from Upland's perspective, nothing prevents the owner of a property in the real world to acquire the same address in Upland, which I think is kind of a cool aspect too. The objective of this game phase is to accumulate properties and the in-game currency UPX or UPX. Upland integrates multiple mechanics that helps players to increase their wealth. Ownership of a property allows frequently collect UPX earnings. The latter can be increased by completing one or more of the many collections, which can have different difficulty and reward levels. There will be various other ways to earn UPX, like charging other players for services related to their property ownership, or participating in missions and tasks that reward with UPX. The mission thing just now came on, I think, and I don't know if it works right, but I saw some of that popping up after it be announced months ago. In the next phase of the game, players can erect buildings and other structures on their properties. They're kind of doing that now. It's not much use for them, a little bit, but they're kind of doing that now. Utilize rural land for farming, mine resources, and other activities. Thereafter, once a critical mass of Uplanders has been reached, an open platform approach will allow third-party developers to provide decentralized apps. These apps shall further enhance and expand the possibilities for players, also by applying emerging technologies such as virtual and augmented reality. So basically what they're saying is they wanted to make it a very solid real estate virtual reality game, have farming, mining, which we have in Kingdoms now, but that's a third-party app, not Upland, and have buildings, have services, have different things going on, and then maybe open it up to the third-party apps that can do different things. And the third-party apps are cool, but again, I don't have time to figure out all those, keep track of all of those. And they don't exactly integrate amazingly well with Upland, because it's not like I can see what's going on in those third-party apps in Upland. I might be able to see what's going on in the third-party apps with Upland, but it's not vice versa. So you've got to go through so many different steps to see what's happening. So that's what kind of my main concern with the Upland real estate side of it is. It's very difficult to get things done. For example, we have collections, right? It talked about in the white paper. I'll go to what town? I think Buenos Aires. I just sold a property. Of course, these aren't in order of alphabetical. They're in order of city release. Anyway, so these are the collections. The little circles tell you if you have properties in those collections. And I don't know if I've got any open here. I just sold a property there, but I must have. It was in a collection. But anyway. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I have a property open in my Buenos Aires collection. So I have to have all 3 properties filled if I want to get the collection bonus, earn more UPX per month. So for me to find that property, we've got a list of all my properties here. And the ones that are eligible are up here. And Buenos Aires is a little easier than some of the other areas. But I don't know what these are, right? I don't have every property memorized. I have no idea how big these are. I have no idea what the UPX earnings are. If I wanted to actually go to this property, I can do that and see, okay, that's a 24-1. And then I can click on every single one. That's a 31. That's a 20. So I guess I can find these, but in some cities, I might have 50 properties, right? That's going to take me forever to remember which one's which. I don't know if these properties, what their UPX earnings are without going deeper dive into it. It's very, very time consuming to go through collections and figure out what the best ones are, because you want to use the ones that have the highest UPX earnings to earn the most money in the long run, and figuring out which collections are the most earnings per property. That's something you can utilize too to make sure you have the most money. I did that once. It took me hours to go through and figure out what property should be where, what's happening, what the UPX earnings are, and what collections are the best collections to have. And the sole reason it takes so long is because it is just so difficult to see what properties you have. So I can go to the properties tab and I can see my properties here. And it's literally a list of properties that I have no idea how they're ordered, because the cities, those are all Rio, but whoops, I didn't mean to click on that one. Then it goes back to the start. That's such an annoying, like if I go down this list, let's say I've been looking for all these for a certain property and I click on that property, that's not the property I want. It takes me back to the top. I have to search through all of them. So I have hundreds and hundreds of properties, and it does actually list your earnings here, right? Which would be nice if they did that on the collections page. It would save so much time. So maybe, Upland, if you can put the earnings on the collections page, that would be amazing. That's an ask. I wasn't even going to think about that for now. But that's a huge ask for people that would make their life so much easier. But along with that, the thing I think Upland could do that would make this game so much more fun is to have a properties tab that has all the details of every property. So we can go to Upland, which is a third party again. I don't think we should have to go to so many third party apps to get this stuff done. And I can put in my username up here, invest from Mo, and I can see all my properties here. So I can see how my properties have increased over time, that kind of stuff. And there's a list of all my properties, and I can search by city, by address. I can go by mint price. I can go by 580. That's such a cheap mint price. That's crazy. And that was in Rio. If you think 588 for mint price in Rio was fun. That's one reason why it was fun. That's another topic. But it's so much easier to see what's going on here on Upland, because it lists my properties. There could be way more, right? It could give us the earnings. It could give us, it does say if it's for sale, but it could tell us the price or not. It could tell us what kind of structure is on it. There's so many different things. And if Upland implemented a property dashboard that showed all of these things, it would make life so much easier. That's how a real business would have their things. My real properties, I have Excel sheets that show everything, the loans, the income, the cash flow, the rents, the taxes, all of it on one sheet. And I can scroll through my properties. I can print that out. I can analyze what I have and see if I want to sell a property, if I need to refinance one, if, I can see so many things and make decisions as a business owner. I don't have to go to 3 different sites that don't show all the information, and it just gets frustrating and takes me forever to get anything done, and almost no information is shown on the Upland property dashboard. If they made an awesome property dashboard, it would make this game so much more fun, so much easier, and probably bring a whole lot more people onto it. That dashboard, you should be able to see your address, the price you paid, the mint price, if it's for sale, the for sale price right now, the UPX earnings, the UPX size, the town, neighborhood, of course, if it's in a collection. And then you should be able to change some of those things on that dashboard. Could you imagine if we had that dashboard, all our properties listed there, you could see all your houses for sale, and then you could change the price or change if it's for sale or not on that dashboard. You didn't have to click to each property in each town individually to see what you have and what's for sale and go through that whole thing. Now on Upland, .me, you can see, hey, I've got this property for sale. I can actually go to the property. If I take that link and I bring it into Upland, and there's my daily check-in. This might take a second, hold on. I can go there and I can go to that property and see it now, and I can see it's for sale. But that's quite the process to go through it. And you're going back and forth between games, you lose your spot. It's very tedious to do property searches and analyze your portfolio in Upland. That's probably the number one thing they could do to make things easier. And if people can change prices faster, if they can put up stuff for sale faster, it will probably increase values and make the markets more fluid, make it easier to sell things, to buy things. That would be fantastic. Now, along with that, if you have all those prices and collections, and you could change collections on there too, that would be absolutely amazing. You wouldn't need that first ask of putting the earnings on the collection tab, because that would all be together in one dashboard. And just slowly improving that over time would be so nice and make it so much faster. And that's my biggest annoyance with Upland, is it wastes so much time trying to go through things and utilize them and optimize them for not that much money. It's just not worth my time, so I don't do it. Now, another thing with properties, of course, is offers, right? You can receive offers, make offers on properties you have for sale. I don't think I have anything for sale in Neponset. So we'll go back here, we'll find a property I had for sale, we'll go back here, put it in here, we'll wait a second, click on that tab, it'll take me there. There we go. Make sure I don't click the X, I'll stay here, okay. So I have this property for sale for $23,900. I can set my offer, let's see here. I'm gonna take it off for sale. I'm gonna sell it again for $23,500. UPX, offer for sale. That's how you put a property up for sale. So if you want to sell a lot of properties at once, it takes forever too, like I did in Rio. If you could just do it all in one dashboard, that'd be so amazing. But anyway, somewhere we have the offer, no visitors. Where is it? Somewhere we set there's our threshold of how little or we'll accept on the property. This should be able to be set on that dashboard too. Make it so easy, so much better. But if we could get an offer and counter that offer, that'd be amazing. That was actually a suggestion from my Discord from somebody else, right? What if someone offers me $20,000? I'm like, I don't want to take $20,000. Maybe I'll take $23,000 instead. What if I could just counter that and say, I'll take $23,000, like in real life, like you do in real life. And then you could have bargaining back and forth, and you don't just lose that offer because you said no. I mean, I suppose you try and click on that person's profile, try and send them a message. That's also a pain to go through that process too. They might not see it, they may see it, who knows. I'm not sure if I've seen all of my messages, because I forget about it. But if you could do the counters in real time, that would make life so much more easy. If you could do counters at all, that would just be fantastic. Very simple, easy thing to do. Or if you could send notes or messages with your offer. We have a messaging system, then you have a link to that person right away. Say, hey, here's my offer, let me know what you think, and open up a line of communication. That's real life as well. That would be fantastic to be able to make the offering easier, get more done. Along the lines of properties still, that's what we're staying on. This whole video is all about properties. I'm not going to get into all the other stuff. I've done videos on that. So buildings. We've got all these beautiful buildings all over. And yes, factories can build stuff. You've got to go through a process where you apply, you send your designs. It's quite a bit of a work, which makes sense if you're going to build and design stuff with factories. That's about the only decent use I see, because I did a video on stores before. My store lost money last month. It's very hard to make any money on stores. They aren't transparent about their fees. You don't know what the fees are going to be. They might not even know what the fees are going to be. So it's very difficult to make money with stores, and that's really the only other use for buildings. Why are we building buildings if they aren't ever going to have a use? What's the point? And they've never given us any indication. You know, they said at first we're going to be able to utilize them, develop lands, even have farming and mining, which would be fantastic. But instead they go off on these other directions where we haven't finished what the core part of the game is. So there has to be a better utilization of buildings. A lot of us have spent money on Spark, spent time on building buildings, and the only use is for a shop that loses money, right? Except unless you have a factory. There's got to be something they can do to give you more yield. Advertisements, that's another thing someone said. Like, what if brands or people could pay for advertisements on buildings, right? What if you go to New York, Manhattan, or what if, even Neponset, where we have lots and lots of different stuff going on with our node and lots of buildings. What if brands could, pay for advertising on that building? It doesn't have to be a lot. It could be just a little bit, and you earn more UPX because you've got a big banner on here, or just some kind of cool little, logo or something. They have the designs, the flair, whatever you can put on buildings. Why not actually have something useful where brands could advertise on them? That would be fantastic, a way to utilize them and be useful in real life as well. So that's just a very simple way. That was also another suggestion from someone on my Discord, not my idea, to give buildings more utilization, more ways to actually be useful besides increasing yields. Who knows? Kingdoms is a third-party app where buildings have some value because it lets you have more people in your kingdom. Again, that's third-party. Why doesn't Upland? They also have mining. They also have farming. They also have building different stuff. Like Kingdoms was built by one guy who pretty much made Upland more useful than Upland has in years with a whole team. So many of those things could be implemented into the game where you're not waiting on Kingdoms, because Kingdoms is fun. I like it, but it also has some issues where, it takes me 10 minutes to log in sometimes. You just get the circle of death. And changing farms out sometimes takes me, 10 minutes to change out all my farms because they are so slow and so just not. Let's see if it works right now. We'll see how long this takes to change out one crop. And I don't know if this is an Upland issue, or that was faster than usual. Usually it takes longer than that. Then you have to save it. Like, there's so much time. It's like it could be such a good game, but it takes a very long time. I don't want to take away from the creator of this because he did an amazing job creating this pretty much on his own. But there it goes. It finally switched over. You've got to do this over and over and over again. It takes a very long time. But is that an Upland interaction thing? Is that a Kingdoms thing? Who knows? But if Upland could make this stuff in the game and part of it, that'd be so much more fun than, for me, doing FIFA sales that are going to be worthless after the FIFA season's over. So those are some thoughts on making buildings, to utilize them, use them, letting more people have farms, mining. That'd be crazy. That'd be awesome. So those are a few ideas. There's still more. Another one would be, if they want to implement more third-party apps and have third parties using properties and stuff, that big property dashboard I talked about, if they had a list, now if they get to like 1,000 third-party apps, this might be tough, but now there's like, 2 of, here's a Kingdoms tab, here's what's the other one? I don't even know what the other one tab is, and say, this property is part of Kingdoms, or it has some Kingdoms, structures on it or something. That'd make it so much easier when you're looking to search for properties or see properties or see what you have on your map or what's for sale. If you're looking for properties for sale, that would be fantastic. And speaking of properties for sale, right, there's not an easy way to really find stuff for sale. I can look here. It gives me the properties right in this area. Right? Not very helpful at all. Or you can go to a third-party app like this, search for properties for sale in a certain town. That takes some time, but is a way to do it. Why doesn't Upland have a marketplace where we can see the properties for sale with that properties tab that lists all the stuff, all the collections, all the things there are? The easier it is to see properties for sale, the easier to see what's out there, the more transparent everything is, the better the economy is going to do. And people will be buying more properties, selling more properties if they can see all that stuff in an easier manner, all in one place. They don't have to go here and there, and maybe that site's updated, maybe it's not, maybe this information's updated, maybe it's not. It would just make life so much easier and so much more like real life, where I can do that as an agent. I can do it on MLS, but you can also see that as a buyer on Zillow, a lot of places, Redfin. Like, if we want to make this like a real virtual real estate game, let's make it like real life and try and make it act like real life, where it's easier to do things and see things and buy properties and have uses for them. So another final thing I want to talk about, I know I could just keep going on forever and ever and ever, is I feel like there's a lot of opportunity for Upland to bring brands in. They want to have a place for virtual real estate. Other virtual real estate applications have said they want to have brands and real life stores and real companies coming in. Upland could do that too. They have real life lots, real addresses, which is super appealing because I could say, oh my God, my corporate headquarters are in Manhattan. Here's the same property in Upland. I can go buy that. If brands start doing that, it will make properties extremely valuable in those types of locations. They could advertise on them. It would make those properties even more valuable. If brands could have stores or different things or links to their website, it would make things more valuable, make it an incredible opportunity to get, I might do that for my businesses, right? If that was possible. But the big issue I see is when you have FIFA soccer, you've got car racing, you've got totems in STEM and Protem, I don't know what all that stuff is. And a big brand comes to Upland and says, yes, this sounds cool. I want to buy my building in real life. And then you tell them, okay, well, do you have enough totems and Protem and STEM? As a big brand, I'm like, what are you talking about? Is this supposed to be virtual real estate, or is this a fantasy game? That's my thoughts. So if we want to make this approachable to brands, get people real money in the game, real value in the game, real use in the game, you have to focus on real estate and make it as close to real life as you can. My confidence that ever happens, I don't even know if I want to tell you how confident I am in that, because the direction they seem to be going is way, way off kilter from what it sounded like they originally wanted in their white paper, from what I think they could do, from what I think other virtual real estate platforms have tried to do. Not that they've succeeded either, but Upland, I think, has one of the best chances to, because of the real life use of addresses. And I think they're just missing a huge opportunity there. So those are my thoughts. Those are my ways to improve the real estate side of it. That's the side I'm really interested in. I don't have time to learn new third-party apps and new totems and new things and all that stuff all the time. I want to focus on real estate. And I've talked about how to make the releases better with lower prices, getting more money involved, getting players more upics because of that, because they can sell and make money easier. That's another part of it as well. But if you make the properties better, easier to find, easier to sell, easier to manage, and easier for brands to jump in, Upland could be really cool. Will they listen to me? Probably not, but that's my take. All right, love to hear what you think. You can always tell me if I'm wrong. If you disagree with me, that's fine. And I know Upland does watch some of my videos, so maybe they'll see it. I know that's a big change from where they're going down. I doubt they'll just, decide to take that change. But maybe if enough people pipe in and start, voicing what they want, maybe we can make a difference at some point. All right, thanks for watching. Be back soon with many more videos.